Take it away, Nan Man.
All right, we've got spawning up here in the upper right-hand side is our red Zerg player from BVV Gaming. It is Glon here, and he's having some issues with his old computer, it seems. But, why don't you introduce our Terran player?
In the bottom left-hand corner, these are not the minerals you're looking for. It's JediMcroTrix. He's our blue
So we
Terran.
got a TVZ here on Daybreak, which, TVZ has turned into a very unique matchup as of late. A lot of the Terran players have been having some issues trying to kind of refigure out a new style to play against Zerg with the Queen almost buff, if you will. Her range got increased, which makes it very easy to kind of defend against any early game pressure that a Terran would normally throw at you. But that's not to say that Terrans can't win at all. We've been able to see a couple Terran players do quite well, but we'll have to see what sort of style, because JediMcroTrix favored the mech style in TVT, and mech is still a pretty decent style to play in TVZ, but he might have a different style altogether. He might favor the bio style. We'll have to wait and check it out, but already opening up with a pretty unique style of play, this little barracks outside the natural here. This is kind of to make Glon a little bit nervous. Like, he'll get over here and scout this, and he'll see that there's no barracks in the main base. It might kind of make him think, okay, there's potentially 2 racks somewhere on the map, but it's just one barracks hidden. It's the knocker racks, if you will.
Yeah, and you hit the nail on the head there. I mean, the one thing that's kind of changed sort of in the TVZ meta is going Command Center first. Actually, the one thing, though, that's kind of the giveaway here that I'm surprised that McroTrix is going for is a refinery. I figured actually he would have just gone for a standard 1 barracks expansion and try and take advantage of showing that there is potentially a 2 racks on the way. But with this gas, that kind of indicates to Glon that, in fact, okay, that is not the case whatsoever. He sees the gas, sees that there is no barracks quite yet. He's going to actually scout it, though, with the drone. He's going to sniff it out right away. And one Marine's going to spot the drone, though. Glon, he's got to scamper away. Takes out half hit points. He's going to go back with some bullet wounds.
But, of course, Zerg units do regenerate health, so he's going to be nice and happy running back home to just mine for the rest of his life. But, popped out 1 Marine and then flies that barracks back into the main base there and starts the command center on the high ground. So, interesting. I guess he's just kind of like, all right, try some trickery there. But I'm curious to see what is his follow-up going to be with this refinery. Like, is he going to be going for, like, some Reaper play? Reaper is not the best on this map in particular. He could just go for a quicker factory and stuff and lands it and then lifts it up again. Didn't like the positioning, so...
Yeah, so Glon is actually, or sorry, not Glon, but MindTrix is actually really living up to his name, where he's actually sort of tricking Glon. Glon, by seeing this gas at a pretty regular timing, he's going to think, okay, reactor Hellion expansion, which indeed is what's going to happen, but instead of going factory before expansion, he's actually going to throw his command center down right away and complete that part of his wall. So a little thing here, actually going for, oh my goodness, a very fast 30. One thing he's going to be wary of is going to be a Roach Bane bust here from Glon if he does so choose.
Yeah, and we see Glon does have 2 tractors up and running inside of his main base. He's got his 3rd and 4th Queen on the way, which this is kind of the standard style Zergs have been using in the ZVT matchup. This 4 Queen opening where they get these Queens out. They have 2 that are non-stop spreading creep there, and the other 2 are just in charge of larva injects. But yeah, we see no metabolic boost getting started. He actually rushes right to Lair Tech here, so interesting style. I am not the most standard stuff now. Now he's kind of transitioning, so I'm curious to see what is his next play after he gets that Lair Tech up and running. And he does have some Overlords positioned over on JediMcroTrix base, but has no real intel of what's going on other than that he got that refinery in the barracks. So
yeah, he actually doesn't even know that there's a command center that has been built already, and it's now floating over towards the natural expansion. Now, I'm wondering what this very fast layer is for. Is it going to go right up to 2-base Spire right now? He's got both of his gases at the natural expansion. There's a Spy Crawler going up. So if this is any indicator, yeah, I'm going to say it's going to be definitely 2-base Spire. This is meant to hit really, really early and try and catch a Terran off guard. Actually, Glon getting one single lone Zergling and scouts entirely, each and every, except for the important third command center. Does see, though, that Banshee is on its way.
Wow, so that was actually a very nice play, getting that Ling up there, and the fact that there was no complete wall-off there allowed him to kind of zip in there. He knows everything he's up against now, and we do see that Spire is on the way in the main base now, so super, super quick Mutalist style of play, which against a player that's going for Hellions and Banshee and only has, like, how many Marines? You have to 1 Marine. This could just kill him. Like, he would be in a very, very difficult position where he loses so many SCVs. Yes, he's got 3 command centers dropping that triple mule action and stuff, but if he has nothing to defend against this, like, at this point, he's just banking up his gas, building up Overlords so he can just make a huge wave of Mutalists. We'll see how well JediMcroTrix reacts to this. He has the double engineering bay coming out, so we could see missile turrets go down.
And you know, MicroTrix playing this extremely greedy, I have to say. Yes. The very fast third command center. He's getting double upgrades, and he doesn't even have more than 1 barracks for his Marines. So he's playing this just so greedy. I mean, any kind of early bust here from Glon would absolutely destroy MicroTrix, and no doubt about it, even with a Banshee here. Glon just not taking advantage of that right away, but he is making those 10 Mutalists, which are very key, and no sign of engineering, or sorry, not engineering bay, but missile turrets on the way here. So if missile turrets don't come up in here with the next, like, 2 minutes, I guess, just really, it's going to be very, very hard for Trix to try and sustain himself and try and keep himself in the game.
Yeah, and Mutalists are going to start flying over on the right-hand side. Looks like Lings want to try to move out, but those Hellions at the Watchtower will start to do quite a lot of damage. But, ooh, he actually tries to move away with a couple, and they do get cleaned up there. So now JediMcroTrix has no map vision at all. He's got that 1 lone Banshee kind of swinging over there, and he will if he was paying attention, but no, he had to actually set on a rally point, so did not notice those Mutalists, and now they're flying into the main base. Missile turrets going up, but they're going to get denied very, very quickly here. And he's trying to mash repair the one in the main base. Nice play there, but at this point, he's in a lot of trouble. Looks like he's going to try to run as many SCVs as he can. 1 lone Viking is going to pop, but Viking's still not very effective against Mutalists.
All right, he does have the 1 missile turret in his natural expansion, so that's, where he's going to be coming out to evacuate. And Glon, you can't go for that. Loses 1 Mutalist to the back, though, but yet again, another missile turret going up, but the main base is where all the production facilities are. Stim has been started, but Glon's got free reign over here. There's absolutely nothing that MicroTrix can do. He won't be able to get up he will get up a missile turret with the 1 hero Rambo SCV, but it's kind of in not the best of positions here. And every single Marine that pops out from these barracks, these Raxi, if you will get absolutely decimated because Glon's just taking siege over top of them.
Yeah, and we do see 10 Banelings getting morphed in at the natural. He also has a lot of Lings over there. And +1 will finish by the time these guys rush their way in here. And he's just going to bust down the door and just take out everything at the natural now. Yeah,
missile turrets don't do well against Banelings, who are rolling, destroying so many SCVs. And an immediate GG out of MicroTrix.
I mean, MicroTrix was just playing too greedy there, plain and simple. Like, he was cutting too many corners there that it just came down to going, you know what, I'm just going to go for a little bit of unorthodox play, rush to lair, rush to Spire, and I'm going to catch you off guard. And if a player had not been cutting as many corners, maybe he was going a little bit more of bio heavy, instead of getting that Banshee or something, he just made those Hellions transition into his bio. He could have been able to defend that a little bit better, but the fact that he had like 3 Marines, tried to get missile turrets, the main base got completely denied of getting missile turrets in, and then Glenn's like, okay, cool, now you're all at your natural, I'm just going to Baneling bust you. And it worked out phenomenally well, but it's not down and out for either of these players. JediMcroTrix does get to choose the next map, but do you have any other thoughts about that first game between those 2 players?
You pretty much gave perfect analysis of that. They're too greedy, far too greedy. You need to have those barracks up immediately. Glon punished that perfectly with his Mutalist style. He took advantage of not going for like a ground bust. Roaches would have been good because they would have had a lot of durability against the Hellions, but if if you just went like a straight Baneling bust, it might have turned up. No, it still would have done a lot of damage because there just wasn't the ground army there, and I mean there's the punishment from Glon. If you're not ready, you need to have those missile turrets up. You need to have good scout. I mean, there's just little things that MicroTrix really could have done there, but the basics it came down to is being far too greedy. Third command center, double upgrades. You can see that was a very heavy powering build. He threw down a lot of barracks right away, and if Glon would have waited just a few minutes longer, then that game would have turned around right away with a lot of Marines.
Oh yeah. But yeah, so we'll see. Kind of, Daybreak's one of the more standard maps in there because it's one of the most balanced. There's a lot of airspace around the map, so if it had gone to that later game, it really could have gone to either players at that point. But that at 12 minutes, Mutalisk just kind of were what he needs to get that good advantage there. So we'll see. What is the next map? It is again JediMcroTrix choice here, and he didn't opt for that mech style this time. So I guess he does. He's basically falling back to like all the Terran players out there are, going back to what they are used to going. Those Hellion openings, get out on the map, follow up with maybe a Banshee here, and then move into their normal bio stuff. But I'm waiting for Terran players to start exploring new stuff. New builds to use that could be able to kind of do, maybe not just do damage, but be able to keep up with the Zerg. So I like the idea to go for that 3 command center, but his tech might not have been the best choice with that style of play. So
yeah, well, we'll see if he is able to turn it around. We're gonna get the next game set up right away. Something I might suggest. Well, yeah, don't be so greedy. That's all we can say. Like from that last game, don't be so greedy. You want money? You gotta work for it. You can't just go and pickpocket some old lady. I mean, you could. Maybe you're successful, but you're going to jail. Maybe.
Sooner or later, you'll get caught.
And you know what? That's what the Mutalisks were. The Mutalisks were policemen. Okay, they were the policemen there, and they arrested. MicroTrix for being so greedy. But if MicroTrix was let get away with that, he would have gone free and be like, woo, I got money, and now I'm going to rule the world.
Oh, Antigua Shipyard's the next map. I mean, I like Antigua Shipyard, don't get me wrong, but I don't know. I'm still kind of, if JediMcroTrix tries something along those lines, we keep going back and forth about his greediness. I'm sure he will tone it down a bit, but by toning it down a bit, that might force Glon to be able to be the greedy one. Like, that's kind of the cool things about being the hyper-aggressive player in Game 1, or going for like an all-in kind of thing. It's you make that player think that this is the style you play, so you can do some unorthodox style, like going for hyper-economy in Game 2. But Antigua Shipyard, very 3-base heavy style of play here. 4th base, difficult to take, like we mentioned before in the TVT that we watched. But I still want to see mech. I don't know. I like mech a lot in TVZ personally.
Yeah.
Something about it.
No, it's a very like take this army, move it here.
Yeah.
This little part of it over here. And just slowly trot each and everything over each and around. Now, okay, so the thing is with Antigua Shipyard, you can kind of do what MicroTrix did last game, but again, you have to be prepared for that. He's going to have to adjust it slightly, or else Glon's just going to do the same thing right over again, and 2-base Spire, boom, hit you right up in the face, and really, really be aggressive. So Glon is up a game, so he has that play that he's able to do kind of what he really wants, and we'll see if he's the dictator in this next and up-and-coming game.
Yep, countdown has begun here, so we're going to be getting things started with game number 2 here in this best of 3 ZVT action in the finals here, the winner bracket finals. Loser does get a battle against Monkey in the loser bracket final, and then we've got that big old grand final action coming up, but players are all loaded up here, so let's get things started with our blue Terran player spawning down here in the bottom right-hand side. He's currently down 1 game right now, trying to turn it around. It is JediMcroTrix.
And his opponent in the top left-hand corner from the team VVV Gaming. Just getting all my V's. It is our red Zerg player. He is Glon.
You're much better at that hype up than I am.
No, you just got to think of yourself as Bruce Buffer. You ever watch UFC at all, or any?
No, sadly I don't.
He's kind of the hype up guy. He's like, we are live, fighting.
Oh, yeah, that's pretty awesome.
he gets really pumped up. You're like, yeah, I want to see some guys fight. Woo!
I guess I'll have to watch that and study his
yeah,
hype
man.
up.
Yeah, I've watched it basically just for Bruce Buffer because he is the energy man. If I had to give him a nickname, I would call him the energy man. He's short too, so you can just see the energy in his body. He's like punching in the air. He's like, "Grrr." You gotta give him credit. All right.
Nice. But yeah, back to this game. Nothing really out of the ordinary. Going, normal scout stuff coming out. Overlord's heading around. We do see that the drone gonna pop in here, and he'll just see standard stuff. Barracks going down. Okay, you're not trying to hide it from me this time. Cool. Looks like a more standard style of play. Glon gonna be going to that hatchery first. Always kind of what Zerg wants to do in the ZV2 matchup.
Yeah, it's almost sort of become stale essentially. Not necessarily. Well, it's just been every single time ZVT you go hatch first, unless I actually saw a game between OGS Top and OGS Juk2, which I casted on the daily, where Juk2 went, Juk2, the Zerg player, versus Top Zerg. No, Juk2's...
No, Top's Terran, yeah. Juk2 Zerg.
Yeah. Where Juk2 went gassed in spawning pool instead of hatchery first because he knew that on that certain map, Top really loves to go proxy 11 racks. So just really odd and really meta sort of play. But when you don't know your opponent that well, you kind of stick to what you know best.
Yeah. Well, that's what's cool about being former teammates like that. You can kind of be like, okay, I know that you love this style of play. I'm just gonna take a quick win over you because I know how you play. And that extractor finishes, and he gets to see that command center going down. So
it's a nice little win.
Yeah, nice little victory early on there for Glon. He knows what he's up against, and metabolic boost being started here. So he's not going for that super quick spire this time. He's going to play a little bit more standard Zerg style, I guess. We see the queens on the way here, but we could see him be aggressive early on with a Ling Baneling style of play, since he scouted that early command center. And Antigua's natural, it's easier to secure, but it's still quite wide open that you could be able to rush some Lings in there, rush some Banelings in, and do a lot of damage.
Yeah, there's a lot of surface area, which is what kind of the Ling Baneling blast really lends itself to. If there's a lot of surface area, there's a lot more damage happening from your Banelings and your Zerglings, obviously, because you have more area to attack with your melee units, whereas the range, they come from far and whatnot. But again, McroTrix, very, very fast third command center. This is almost Thorazine-esque, where Thorazine would actually go Reaper expansion, make one Reaper, make his expansion, and then go Hellion, Reactor Hellion. And after his Reactor Hellion, after his factory was done, he would throw down a third command center right after that. So, I mean, if Glon just does the same thing as last game, and McroTrix doesn't get his, let's say, his engineering base up in time, I mean, it all kind of came down to getting up your missile turrets. If he gets his missile turrets up in position, he doesn't sustain that much damage. But hopefully McroTrix learns from that last game.
Well, from now, it does look like McroTrix is going to be doing the exact same build, and we see Glon taking that lair now, and he's grabbing all his extractors again. So we might just see another exact same thing versus the exact same thing. Now, since McroTrix faced it last time, we'll see if he gets better scouting this time. Like, he's got the triple orbital, he will be able to scan stuff, but Glon's going to get in here, and he'll see every single thing he's up against.
Yeah,
so he knows there's that triple command center and stuff, so it's going to be tough. And we have
it's a miss. It's a mistake. He didn't hit. Oh no, he hit BS instead of VS. Oh no!
Oh,
He's got to notice, man. Oh no, this is a huge blunder. His timing is going to be completely
all thrown
off.
off there.
Oh
So,
no!
normally with Zerg players, you got your basically with any build that you have to do with any. Okay, you noticed that the last second. Everything you've got your normal tech stuff, building. So you do B, and then laughs about it. And then there's the different stuff. So BS is build spawning pool. VS is build spire. So he just kind of went, all right, quick, just going through my normal micro stuff, building macro. Oh, okay, yep, got my spire on the way. Oh my god, it's spawning. Least he noticed though, so it's not kind of the end of the world. It just really, really delays things. And lots of Hellions kind of out for McroTrix. Got his Banshee, gets the second one on the way, but still, one barracks, no engineering bays right now.
Actually, 2 engineering bays on the way. And just finishing up.
Oh, there they are.
They're hidden. They're right by the refinery. And this is going to be a good lesson in StarCraft 2. Today's lesson is going to be timings. And now that these engineering bays are up, we're going to see if McroTrix knows his timings. Because the Spire is not yet finished. He has plenty of time to build dang it, why do I keep calling missile turrets engineering bays? He has plenty of time to build missile turrets. And yeah, there's your first missile turret. So the Spire would be plenty done. Mutalisks would probably be coming in very, very soon. But as it stands, the timing that's off, that very slight timing window, is going to be completely different. We're going to see how much it changes this game.
Yeah, and double scan even got used for McroTrix. So we see like 5 turrets going down right now, 6 turrets. So he's like, okay, I know what you're up against. I'm going to be prepared for it this time. We do see, he swapped the barracks in the factory as well. So he's got the reactor going down, and he's got a second barracks on the way. So they won't have stim though. That's going to be kind of a little bit annoying to deal with the Mutalisk there. But at this point, McroTrix gets to see the third base, but with a Mutalisk out, he's going to easily lose all these Hellions.
Yeah, I think Glon actually went for this third base. Isn't really too bad either. No. Oh man, losing those Hellions is very, 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 very bad. Especially as Trix is trying to power up right now. His ground army is very lackluster, and actually, since this natural is so wide open, yeah, McroTrix, he knows he has to complete this wall very, very fast. He cannot be susceptible to a Baneling West at this point in time. It is just so devastating. Luckily, he has a missile turret up there to try and mitigate some of the Mutalisk damage here, but the Mutalisk splash should pick off. No, actually, he's not going to get off any either SCVs or supply depots here, but these SCVs clumped up right here. Not good. That's so bad.
Not a complete wall off either.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, now he notices. But yeah, I mean, 18 Banelings just finished. Centrifugal hooks seconds away, and as soon as that's done, we will most likely see him going in and trying to draw his attention to the main base. Takes out Stim though. Oh, Banelings rushing into that wall, bust through it very, very easily, and they're just going to go right for the natural here. SCV's trying to.
Oh my goodness! Explosions going down. There it is. Bye-bye SCVs at the natural expansion. Almost the entire force there. And now what do you have left? Yes, you've got a lot of missile turrets, but my ground army is far superior than yours, Glon is saying. Siege tanks are up, but Mutalisks take that out immediately, and unfortunately, the missile turrets won't be able to repel them. Glon making Banelings inside the main base here of McroTrix. McroTrix does not really have an answer for this whatsoever. Hard countered, is McroTrix saying again. GG.
I mean, I don't know why JediMcroTrix didn't kind of tweak his build any. Like, he scouted exactly what the same tech his opponent was going for, just like last game. And yes, he did have that wall kind of thing, but he had no tanks near that wall. He had one in his main base, but none like on the high ground at his main base to help watch his entrance to his natural. Nothing like that. So, and he didn't even have his Banshees in position. They were just in his main base. So it was basically, yes, like a hard counter build to what he was going. But Loin's like, all right, this worked so well last game. I'm going to do it again because I've scouted the exact same thing that you're doing.